Welcome back to the Three Ways to Say It podcast. I am Eshalay.
I'm Todd Carter.
And what's goody? It's Casey.
So welcome back. Thank you for joining again. So tonight we'll be talking about health in the Black community and some of the things that we're doing to prevent some of these chronic diseases that are attacking us. Hopefully that's the correct thing to say, but whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with just talking about our family medical history. So for me, in our family, the biggest issue is high blood pressure. So my mom, my dad has it, cousins, aunts, and I would say the hardest part about that, of course, is the high sodium foods that we're eating. Of course, I'm taller, so I do think that affects it as well. Whenever I go to the doctor, she'll just say, you're not overweight or any of that. She can tell it's just family history type thing, right? Because for me, with me being taller, of course, I would think, with my weight, I'm like, oh my God, I weigh this much. She was like, it's because you're tall. But she also said too, because my bottom number is high, she said it is like the sodium that I'm eating. So I definitely have to watch that. So I have been trying my best to watch that sodium level there. So what about y'all? What is one of that main one? Not, you don't have to give a list, but just that main one that's affecting the family.
Okay, I go first. I think with my family, I think when we go to the doctor, I think the main one I think they say is probably diabetes. I think a lot of people in the past in our family, so I think it's just running the family. And I think a lot of people in the past have actually had diabetes. A lot of people had like bigger babies because of it, literally, they just have it. So that's something I know I always fight, and I hope I never, even come close to it. But like I like sweets and I like and I like snacks and I like all that junk food. So just like you said, you had to try with the sodium. I try to knock that. I try to kind of get out of it and try to knock that off sometimes because you do too much of it, you're gonna have it, and especially if it's already in your family, it's not gonna be hard for you to have it too. So that's why I love sweets. I had a sweet tooth, but I still have in my mind like, okay, I'm enjoying it now. But as time go on, I'm gonna have to like eat it less and less and less. So yeah, that's ours is diabetes in this family. So yeah.
Okay. So with my family, it will be heart disease and also diabetes.
Okay. So what are y'all doing besides just cutting back on sugar to help with that issue?
Well, luckily, I think on my end, I think since I do like the fitness and stuff, I try not to. I think I try to. That's my advantage. Like I don't think about it as much because I'm like fit, but that means nothing because like I don't know if you know the Jonas Brothers, but it's one on his name, Nick Jonas, and you can see he's fit, but he still has diabetes. So that's not even really just because I exercise and stuff does not mean I can't get it. That's just the one thing I make sure that my health is good. So I'm making sure I get that cardio in, making sure I get vegetables in, make sure I'm eating fruit, but not too much fruit. I think it's like I try to do portion control. So like if I'm eating sweets and stuff, which sometimes I do go over, but like if I'm doing like even some people think that if you eat like fruit every day that'll help you, and it really don't because it's still sweet. And so and a lot of people don't know that. But in general, I try to do like if I'm gonna do fruits or something, I'm gonna do a small side of fruits, but I'm making sure I get that vegetable intake every day or as much as I can. So yeah, I think that on my end, I try to pay attention to that. I probably could be doing more, but I think as I get older, I'm gonna have to. The doctor's gonna be telling you, okay, watch this. Your family has a history of this. So right now, that's what I'm doing. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to take more actions as I, get older. But yeah.
So for me, as I am getting younger, I just make sure that I do some type of exercise, and then I also just don't eat a lot. I've always, since when my parents first was diagnosed with diabetes, then I changed my eating habits right away. because they, had to go through classes, which they teach you how to eat. So I know y'all done heard me say over and over, I'm a stickler for starches. Like, I don't like to see people out of starches and don't balance that out with vegetables. I just cooked now. I just had collards and I had some turkey. And I don't eat pork anymore. And I don't overly season my food. I also don't put like grease. When I'm doing my greens, I don't put grease, butter, and that in mine. I may use a little olive oil, which today I didn't. So I just do things like that. So I always watch my sugar as well. I do know that they tell you to use Splenda, but then you hear these reports about Splenda is not that good. But I will say, I don't use regular sugar. Sometimes I may use, I think it's called raw, or definitely Splenda. But I'm starting to think that maybe I'm going to find an alternative for that as well. But I just want to make sure that I don't develop that. And, when I go to the doctor, it's always good. And so I'm very active on trying to make sure that it stays good. So those are some of the things. I don't eat late at night. I just don't.
Okay.
And I know. Yeah. I see how some people just load their plate up with 5 or 6 starches. No.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna ever lie, because macaroni and yam, that stuff good. It's so hard not to eat. It's so hard not to want to get them together. But like you said, you literally have to watch all those starches. And I'm pretty sure I don't watch them most of the time. But like I say, as I get older, don't have a choice. But yeah.
I know. I would say for me, of course, I just started back working out, but even before, especially during the summer, I kind of would just go take a little jog, a little walk around the school. Of course, fruits and vegetables now. Also too, I think, with us going to the gym and being motivated to run in the 5K helps motivate me to eat better as well. Am I the best? No, because we know on break, I'm getting that snack. But I am trying to not to anyway, because we have influences. So yeah. But okay, so I don't have any children, but of course I have a niece. So what, I guess, preventative measures would you say that you guys are taking or your family is taking to show the children in your family, the best way to
I'll go ahead and go first. I think I'd said it before, where we actually have seen where certain people in the family will literally, I think they kind of think it's cute that a child can eat too much. Like, and I don't know, that's something in our community. We laugh at it too. We see that child got all that. Even my little cousins now, like we see them get I got a cousin where he about 4 or 5. He'll go up to that while everybody getting their chicken and stuff. He would go up there and grab another piece of chicken, just be eating it and walking. That's funny. That's cute, right? But in hindsight, you think about how if they start those habits that early, it's gonna be so much harder to get them off of it as time go on. So even though we laugh and we think it's like cute and all that, we still try to make them sit down and eat them vegetables and stuff, even though they ain't gonna like to do it. You got to sit there and tell them you're not getting up from their table and throw on vegetables. You have to. Because just like we like bad food, I mean, if we eating it around them, of course the children gonna like the bad food too. They see us enjoying it, they gonna follow suit. So I know that's for sure in my family. And I think in our community, like I say, even you can see even the little videos online and stuff. People literally like to see children stuff their face. Because I don't know, it's something about it. It's just cute looking, I guess. And I don't think we think about, like, when we like stuff and we think it's entertaining, we don't really think of the bad side effects of it. Until something later on happens and you like, dang, we probably should have stopped them early on. And that's why you see a lot of those videos with those children. Even what's the boy? I forgot the boy name. I think it was Lil Terrico. He was, I don't know if you remember, he was like, he was bigger size, and that's what got him viral. And of course, they was making money off him, so it was cool and stuff. But you see, he had to get up to this age now where he had to do like all that trying to get that weight off, but he was so young compared to the people who, like, you usually see adults and stuff trying to get that weight off of them. But since they were
Right.
pouring so much into him, they was making money off of him. He had to go through a process of just dropping almost close to 200 pounds. He was literally that big, and he was a teenager. And that was just off them wanting to see him stuff his face. They wanted to keep him that size. So that's why I say I think we do think it's like cute and adorable to see children just stuff their face with all this food. And if the child want what we want, it's cute and stuff. But you did have to look at, like, if they start now, they're gonna keep it going, and they're gonna probably want more of it. So yeah, we try to at least acknowledge that now. I can say that much. But yeah.
Okay.
So with my kids, they already eat the way that I eat. So it's like they can't handle too much salt because I don't cook with it. Their grandmother doesn't cook with it. So I found my kids that sometime when we would get something, like if we're out somewhere else, especially Addison, she'll say they trying to give me diabetes because she's like, that's too salty. So, they just can't handle it, because once you start not having that much salt in your food, it just tastes nasty. And it's like you can't even stomach through it. So that's one that I put in place for my kids, is that I stop cooking that way. And also too, I don't fry anything. I use fire, I bake. That's pretty much. So I just, I don't, all that grease. Now I can't control, like, say if we go out somewhere, I still like Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I'm gonna, get a sandwich every now and then and things like that. But just sitting at home, frying up grease, I don't eat like that. I'll put it in the oven. And I do like a little stir fry where I'll put a little olive oil and, just to kind of sear it on both sides to get that little crust. But I just don't really buy vegetable oil anymore.
Yeah. And wait, before, I don't want to get too off topic, but it's funny because I'm the same way. I actually think air fryers are a positive thing. I don't know if people think about it like that, because I don't even like cooking and cooking grease no more. I just don't like oil. I don't like it. It's like, it was cool, I guess. Yeah, fried chicken. Who don't like fried chicken? But I think cooking in it and then seeing some of those bad side effects, even if you will see a glimpse of it, it make you not want to even, that greasy. It just, I don't know. So I don't cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny that you brought up, it's cute to see children, stuff their mouths with food. But I always think about that thing where, and we can't say that it doesn't happen because it does. And I know we've seen it where, especially with our young girls, we tend to say, if we see a child that's a little overweight, maybe it's kind of like, it runs in family. She just got a little hip. That's it, And a place that I worked at before, there was a child, I want to say she was 5, and she was 108 pounds. So yeah, she was morbidly obese, and it was really sad. Beautiful young girl, and it ran in her family, and her family literally just sat there and just was comfortable in it. It was like, oh, it runs in the family. Like, oh, it's just hip, it's this, and it's like, no, like, how? I guess it's just like, how do we get to this point? Like, is it social media? Is it some of the celebrities? I don't want to call any names, but do you think with some of the celebrities, do you think that they're really pushing the obesity train here? Not even intentionally, because we do, with the whole feminism train and all that, of course, but when we're a certain size and children see this, or parents, because we do have parents who enjoy seeing some of the celebrities, is this like okay? Like, what are we really teaching our children or our community?
I think I always think it start, like I say this every time, start at home. So I'm gonna say just with the parents. And you see a lot of those children who are bigger, like you said, the young girl was. How was her parent? Was she oversized too? And so, and I always think your child is going to mimic you, even unintentional, they're going to. So I think if the parent is comfortable with their weight, I'm pretty sure they're not going to have no problem with their child being that size. That's why I said, so I always say, the parent has to do something about their weight first, because then how can they tell their child to do something about their weight? So I always say it literally stems from the parents. That's what, for me, even with the like celebrities on TV and stuff, like you say, if they see that it's comfortable, and not saying they had to tell their child, yeah, don't be that size, but in the fact of if they don't look at those celebrities and look at their self like, oh, I need to work on myself, then they can't tell their child that either. So I think it's just literally we're in this, especially in our community, we in this comfort spot with it. Like, of course, all body matters is nothing. I think we are more on the side of health. Like, yeah, it's body positivity. That's good. You know, be the size that you are. But in general, it's bad health. You know, I don't see you being that certain size and something good coming from it. So I think, and you know, a lot of people, like people say it could be somebody who's smaller than them and not as healthy in them. That is fair. But the weight did get there some ways. I think you had to just, long as you got to make sure you're healthy inside. And I think it's bad for, I think of it like this. If you are, say we like, you could say you're in your 40s or whatever, and you're bigger like that. So your child is, if you are teaching your child this and they're in their teens and stuff, think about how much harder they have it. So you're having to, you got this time when you're an adult, right? You can control your food and you can buy this different stuff. That is a child. So if that child like to eat bad at home, they're gonna go to school and overeat. When they with their friends, they're gonna overeat. You know, like it's harder for a young child to break those patterns, you know, because you only go off of your guardian. So that's why I think it's always the parent. It always start at home. Nobody telling them to lose weight at home. They're not gonna lose weight. You know, they're children. So yeah, that's just what I was saying.
Okay.
Not to say I think we are pretty, consider we are conscious of it. Is there any foods or have it been a point in your life where you were just addicted to this food and it took you a minute to get off of it? And like it was good, but you saw yourself kind of get addicted to it. So, and have you had like a food addiction in a way?
For me, I wouldn't say a food addiction, more so a drink. Of course, sodas. And am I trying to wing myself off of them? I have before. For a year, I did not drink sodas, but I did replace it with juice. I don't know if that was better fit. But it worked, you know. So I would say for a year, I weaned myself off of drinks. And once I did start back drinking a drink, it was like, whoa, okay. That feeling came back. So I don't drink them as much now, but I would say that, it was hard getting off them drinks, them sodas.
Yeah, sodas. I don't really drink juice anymore, but I do drink coffee. So that's my thing. I drink coffee. What I've been doing now is those little sparkling waters, like they'll have calories. So that's kind of like my way of getting a drink in without having all the calories. And I'm not gonna lie, that brand at Aldi's is so good. That lemonade is so good. So that's what I drink, and that's just and I drink green tea. You know, I drink green tea. So that's pretty much sodas. No, I just don't. Every now and then I may have a soda, but I just don't crave them, don't drink them anymore. But chips is my thing. I'm gonna have a chip, and that's just really not good at all. Y'all know I love it. So I have been to pull myself back from chips. So now I gotta pull myself back from Cheez-Its.
Oh yeah, that's let me see. Why did I ask this question like I wanted to tell this? But you know, of course, like I say, the sweet thing. So I'm a big snacker. Like I snack. I sometimes will snack as if that's a meal. Like, and it's funny because I got into the fitness thing when I was in college or whatever, and literally that's when I started my snack bag. So it'll be times when I ain't gonna say I ain't say I was broke, but like if you just say, for example, you know, they give you a certain amount of money for your meal ticket for the semester or whatever. Once that meal ticket up, now you're thinking of ways, well, let me try to get the cheapest thing, but I'm still be eating. And of course, the cheapest thing gonna be a snack. That's how they get you. So I saw myself eating some stuff out of a snack machine. You get about 2 or 3 things, and you'll think in your head it's filling you up, but it's really not. It ain't gonna. It really is not. You still gonna be hungry. But in your head, since you're eating something, you feel like, okay, well, I'm good. So that's my thing. The snacks. I'm talking about, you know what? Just you can say chips and stuff too. I don't like the Lay's and stuff, but I definitely I'm gonna eat a hot chip or something. You know, it's just the snacks. And now, like I said in the past, but I think I'm still addicted to them. I think I know how to manage them more now. But I literally had to make sure I don't eat them every day out of the week because I feel like if I eat them all that week, it's gonna flow into the next one. So, but that's one thing I make sure I try to eat like I say, vegetables every day and stuff because maybe that'll make up for it. Oh, but yeah, yeah, snail. I'm addicted to them. I'm sorry, that's
And
bad.
it's funny that you say that because it actually made me think about too, just going back to the parenting thing where we didn't really buy snacks in our household. It was more so like we eating like a meal.
Yeah.
So whenever people come to my house now, they're like, "You got any snacks?" I'm like, "I don't buy snacks," and I had to
Mm-hmm.
see maybe that's where it came from. Like we just never bought snacks, and then we go to other people's house, like my aunt or friends,
Mm-hmm.
they'll have snacks, and I'm just like, "Why we don't have no snacks?" Like, and
Right,
my
right.
mom would be like, "Okay, because y'all gonna sit there and eat them up." But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just made me think about it. So now I guess the question would be, so how was it in you guys' household growing up? Was it like snacks in the house, or was it maybe here and there, or was it just it was just strictly meals? Even though I know everybody ate a meal, but you know what I'm saying? It just
Yeah.
wasn't,
My mom,
we
she pretty
didn't.
much 3 meals a day, but then that my
Mm-hmm,
parents just did not. They always ate because they didn't want me to be fat. So in my
mm-hmm,
household, it was a talk about it. I mean, they just like if I would, because I've always been a little bit thick, but my parents will always pull me back.
Mm-hmm.
So they just didn't want me to be fat, and so it just stuck with me because. But then I was just having a conversation with one of my friends because it kind of make you go to the other. You go from one end of the spectrum all the way over to the other one because then it was a thing of whereas like I focused so much on that, trying to make sure
mm-hmm,
that I get, didn't get big
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that because it was kind of like they just really, all honest, they wouldn't allow it because they would just, if I picked up some weight, they would let me know. And so
Mm-hmm.
they would encourage me to get it off. So it just came a thing where I knew that that's just something they didn't want from me. So I
mm-hmm.
worked very hard to remain a good size. And it works out, but it will have you, you know, a
Mm-hmm.
little
Worry about it.
pain in that because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, it's like you'll be sitting there thinking, oh, I can't eat that. I'm not gonna eat that. And which
Mm-hmm.
is good, but like, no,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't, and I still don't, even now. Like if I binge out a little bit, then I'm just like, okay, I can't because it's been drilled not to
Yeah.
get fat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna address, so I'm gonna answer your question first, then I'm gonna go back to what Miss Tasha just said. So,
Okay.
in our house, my mama was big on like, how do I say? Like, she would get stuff that if shit, okay, I put it like this, she shop like this. Well, if it was a Friday or something, we want a piece or something, she'll make sure to have that in the freezer already. But for the
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the day, she made sure we eating something nutritious. My mom was definitely the type. If she see this, hey mom, but she was definitely the type because you cannot leave that table until you're done eating. I'm talking about. I
Mm-hmm.
think the one thing I did not want to eat on my plate was them green beans. My mama did not play. My mama had us. My brothers could be in the bed. I have to sit at that table like this because I did not. My mama did not play. Like it was either them
Mm-hmm.
green beans or them broccoli. And then
Mm-hmm.
even and you want to go to sleep, so you're gonna have to eat them. Yeah, my mom was like that. And now that I look at it, she did the right thing. She made sure we definitely got like vegetables, and that's why I know like, for a lot of people they say they don't want to eat healthy food because it tastes nasty. I think
It
because my mama,
tastes good.
yeah, and since my mama conditioned us to eat it, it's not as hard to eat it now. Like I tell you, I eat salad without dressing, and I think it's because of the fact that I'm I'm just used to eating vegetables and stuff. Lettuce and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, it don't have a bad taste to me. I'm just used to eating it. That's why I think
Right.
it's easier for me to eat healthy food. That's why when they're younger, you kind of just go ahead and just give it to them.
Train.
They might not want to, but you got to get them that taste so that at least be used to it. Because if they think it's when they get older, it's gonna be a shock. Just imagine I'm eating bad all my young years. I'm supposed to get older. I'm supposed to like this. No, you're not. You're not gonna like it. So yeah, I think she made sure we had like a lot of nutrition. If we Mama, she really went on the snacks. The mama, I think, would say everybody get one snack, and my mama would most of the time would make sure we keep it in there. We get one thing out of it, and then she'll make sure the rest of it stay in the kitchen. It was not coming in the
Yeah.
room with us. She made sure we was eating one
Mm-hmm.
a day, or if we didn't sneak it. But on her watch, on her watch, we ate one a day, and that was it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and okay, and let me address go with Miss Tasha was saying. So that's that mental thing. I think, and even though our community is like a confident in it, they are the same way of if you are bigger, they gonna call it out. So it's kind of like a good and a bad thing. It's bad on the end of they can hurt somebody's feelings. It can make them like always be thinking about what they eat and they can't enjoy nothing because they thinking like, oh, if I get this, then what's somebody gonna think about me? That type of thing, especially if they're younger. On a good end, I guess it lets you know like if you get this way, this is what you're gonna get in the world. So like we calling it out to you when you go in the world. That's all people gonna see is your weight first. And let me not say good, just the acceptable way. But yeah, in that bad way, I can see that like in these families, they literally gonna call out if you are bigger. They'll call out if you lose weight. To be honest, if you lose weight or if you gain weight, they're gonna call it out. So, and I always have that family gather, and it's the first thing somebody gonna say to you.
First thing,
you lost weight. Oh, you a little bigger. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that is like a mental thing that does happen with families and the community.
I'll find families sometimes they'll say, you know, like they say, you always stay small. You look so young. You're doing it. It's like, okay, yeah, but I'm looking at your plate, and you're putting a lot on your plate. It's like honestly, I stay a little bit smaller because I work at that. See, I don't think people understand you don't just be small just because you're small. Some people, get me wrong now. My daughter Haley, oh yeah, she's just small. But I'm not. Like, I have to literally work at that to stay a certain size. So like I can easily get up. And then also too, I'm just, here I go. I'm be fighting again. I'm not gonna lie, when I have gained a little bit weight, some weight on me, like I have walked in a room and not got the response that I'm used to getting. So they will let you know you're a little thick. And I'm telling you, and as soon as you drop that weight, now I have got a little too little one time where one of my friends was like, you too. But for the most part, when I get to a certain weight and I walk in the room, oh yeah, they let me know. So that's one of them things too. I think once you get comfortable in how you like, and then plus when you've been programmed, it's like I've been programmed that I'm just gonna be honest, y'all. I don't think I'm gonna be a cute fat chick. It just ain't gonna work. I'm just I don't think the way I'm made, I'm kind of short waisted. It just look good. So I'm gonna try my best. When I'm holding, as I always tell people when they say stuff to me, I say I'm trying my best. Let me just say I'm holding it in the road. Let me just say that.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. So with you pretty much saying that you were intentional, well, you are intentional about what you eat and what you put on your plate. So I'm just gonna go back one more little thing about the kids thing, right? So we see now when we go into the store is more things added to the aisles, more cookies, more of these cereals. You got hot Cheetos cereal, like who? And we know the kids love the hot Cheetos. So going back to the parenting part. So we knew growing up, going in the store, of course, your mom like, you get a piece of candy, blah, blah. But if we're going down the cereal aisle, you're normally picking up what? Honey Nut Cheerios, the regular Cheerios. Here and there, we'll pick up the really sugary ones, right? No cereal pretty much is good. But do you think parents know, are they afraid to say no to their children? Because growing up, it was like, no, you're not getting this. And we moving on. It's no if, ands, or but. Now it's kind of like, Mom, I want hot Cheeto cereal. Who been eating hot Cheeto cereal in the morning? Like, let's be for real. Or allowing their kids to eat hot Cheetos in the middle of the day and buying them. It's like, and no offense to the kids who eat hot Cheetos, because we ate stuff like that too, but it wasn't at these times during school and early in the morning. Like, what are you doing? So do you think, to me, I just feel like now parents, it seems as if they're afraid in a sense to say no. So what do you think?
I think that, like I always say, start with the parents. So I think what determines it is how much that parent cares about health. Because if you think about it, we actually we're sitting having a discussion on health and stuff like that. But if you think about it, 80% of people do not talk about how important your health is. So a lot of people don't talk to their children about how good their health is. They kind of I think a lot of people let their children go to the doctor and let their doctor handle that part, and then they come back home and they be like, "Okay, you went to the doctor. I ain't got to tell you nothing else." Not realizing that you need to talk to your child every day about how important some stuff is. You have to talk to your children about health because what if they going into the doctor and the doctor ain't saying nothing about what they eat? You can't really rely on that stuff. You kind of got to just be the parent in that sense. So when I can see the parents being scared to say no, because I think, and a lot of them I think are very considerate to the point where, we like to say, well, we did when we were young, that we ate the little crazy stuff. But I think in a parent mode, you got to be like, okay, the stuff I did back then, I kind of see how it affect me now. So let me kind of make sure they don't do that too. Which, children can enjoy the little snacks and stuff like that. We even like the little snack stuff, but like you say, to the extent of we eat chips in the morning and we eating it any time of day, there's no like balance of this. So I feel like you say, like they eating a little hot Cheeto cereal in the morning. I mean, they might well eat whatever throughout the day. You're supposed to have that.
Pretty much.
Your nutrition matters, I think, where you have to eat that correct breakfast, make sure they're gonna get lunch, and make sure they're gonna get dinner. And if you blur that line, then they're gonna just be eating whatever. So I think it always depends on how much that parent cares about health. If you don't talk to your child about health, then of course they're gonna let them pick up whatever. And then they ain't gonna see nothing wrong with it. If they don't care about their health, like I always say, you cannot tell your children about their health because you don't care about yours. So I think it's just to the point of if that parent cares about health or not. So yeah.
Also, you have to understand that they're eating at school, and I have looked at the menu, and I'm just like, this menu that they give them is crap. So I know that times when I have when my children were a little bit smaller, I used to pack their lunch and try to make sure that I gave them some alternatives to just because I would see some things that the meal would be kind of repeated, but it's just like it would not just be stuff that you really want. It'd be like mixed vegetables, which still mixed vegetables have starches in it, and then like it'll have the corn. Corn is a starch. People don't understand it. They think that's a vegetable. But it's a starch. And so they'll think that, okay, I'm eating that, but then you got mashed potatoes. So you got two right there. But that's another thing. And then also too, I'll never forget when Haley first went to daycare at 15 months, I used to cringe. And I spoke to the daycare worker. She was like a little home daycare in the back of this lady's house. Real nice lady. But I would hate when she would give my child milk and a Rice Krispie treat. I just like that bothered me. And I told her, my child is not used to no sugar in the morning. Like I didn't like that. She showed me that by Alabama law is like they consider that a balanced meal because you're pairing with milk. And I remember having a conversation with her and I just say, well, I told her what I would prefer her to do for Haley because I just told her that was just unacceptable to me and that I'm paying for my child to have a better meal. So, and I would have to get her that so early. So I really couldn't give her breakfast and stuff, but it would just, I just right away, I did not like, and that's even before my parents, even discovered that they was having a problem. We even knew how to eat right, at that particular time. It's just me knowing that they didn't raise me that way. Rice Krispie treat, that is not breakfast to me. That's a snack.
And I'm not even, and I ain't gonna even lie. Like when I think back to high school, they kind of used to give us, I almost want to say mystery meat. The lunch was not nutritious. Like it was bad enough to where you would want to skip it. And I feel like that led us to going to vending machines and led us to eating whatever we could because of course we young. We feel like if we just put some in our mouth, we good for the day. Like we ain't thinking about we need to eat this amount of vegetables and all that. So yeah, like it's the school's fault too. We had you have lunch.
Like what's that? The toasting, the little 2 sugar things.
The strudel.
Not that one, Ashley. It's like that. Somebody just ate one the other day. It'd be like pop. That's it. Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
I hate a Pop-Tart. Like you read stuff on a Pop-Tart, they are not good for you.
Oh yeah, they bad.
Yeah, that's another meal that they would give them was a Pop-Tart. So in the morning again, you're giving little kids a Pop-Tart as breakfast. Like no. And then also too, I don't think, and you touched on this earlier, Casey, even when you giving them the fruit. Okay, did y'all know that when you get 5 grapes, that's enough sugar right there because they tell you don't need to have 5 grapes in one sitting.
Yep.
Because it's people don't understand that. They'll think, oh, they'll pop by 10 and just then load it up with sugar. So you have to also understand that what you're eating, like a small apple is fine, a small orange is fine, but you can't up there and eat a banana paired with an apple. I mean, like just say like maybe a tangerine or something, because that's like you have to divide it up. And not people don't understand that. So you'll think that, okay, I'm eating fruit and this is better because but you got a salad and sugar because you're getting sugar from your fruit. So
and that salad dressing, because it's hidden sugars or pretty much telling you sugar in it as well. And you do have some fruit, like they'll tell you to eat that really not that loaded with sugar, like blueberries and strawberries, and that's what I've been eating lately. But yeah, I'm just not learning about the grapes and the bananas being high in sugar maybe about 2 years ago. So that
all
is
the
very
good. You can, like, it's kind of like berries are kind of like free because you can have all the blueberry, all the raspberry, the blackberries. I mean, all of that, because it's grain food for you. So it's like your memory and all of that. But think about it, y'all. When you look at that, it's higher. So like the stuff that's really good for you, then they make it more expensive. So it's like you want blueberries, but it's like for a little bitty blueberries, it's like you're paying about anywhere from like $2.50, $3 or $4. It'll take that. I remember one time it would be like $4.50, and it's probably like a good 20 in there. So things that we really need, they make them so expensive. So you'll result back to say like an apple, which apples are great, but it's like you got those other fruits in there too. So
and that's funny that you said that, because I don't know actually you're gonna touch on this, but you notice that, like, if I go to Whole Foods, which I like going to places like that, like, because they have all the stuff. Do you see how much the price range of it? They literally put it where everything that you probably need for your body is going to be very expensive, where it'll shy you away and make you go to the cheaper food that's worse for you. That's why those like pizzas you can throw in the oven, that's why they're so cheap. They know you are bad, and that's so bad for you. Like everything that's affordable seems like, in a way, they make it where it's bad for you. And then if you want to buy the fruit and stuff, and the vegetables be higher than the little pieces and stuff like that. They want you to go for that cheap alternative. They know it's bad for you. It's crazy how they set that up. But
and going back to feeding children the Pop-Tarts and the Rice Krispie treats in the morning, or just in general, right? We know that affects them as well. It's making them hypersensitive. And not just them, but me, because I know I deal with a lot of ADHD, and even drinking those those Dunkin' Donuts coffee, it is almost like I'm high. It is a high feeling. It's like I'm energized. It's like I'm a energized bunny in the inside, but I stay still and I'm in another world. Like I'm zoning out. So you also have to be careful about that too, because we've seen studies that show that literally can affect your child's memory, the way they think, cloudiness, all of that. So I know it can, because me being a 33-year-old adult, it definitely affects me. So I really have to watch my sugar intake, or I'm going to the moon. I don't need no drugs, baby. Well, even though sugar is a drug, I be on the moon. Okay, y'all. So this is just these are just a few of the foods that are banned in other countries, but are still available here in the United States. So just maybe the top 3, and I'll add a few more at the end. So number 1, Mountain Dew. My favorite. So that Mountain Dew is banned in Japan and in the European Union. And the reason why is because it contains bromine, and that leads to memory loss, skin, and nerve problems. And that's interesting, because I feel like when I finish drinking a Mountain Dew, like, you know how you get that little tingling feeling in your skin? Okay, so
Right.
when I read that, I actually texted my mom and I was like, "Hey, because she like when you got to add yourself in there. She finna hold you accountable. We got to stop drinking these Mountain Dews because
Yeah.
clearly it ain't leading us in the right direction." Number two, Swiss rolls.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I saw that.
I can see that.
yeah. So I can remember my mom buying some of those when we were younger. I wasn't never big on the Debbie cakes. My sister
Mm.
and brother were. I'm just not a sweet girl anyway, but I am, but I'm not. Okay, so it contains food dyes like yellow 5 and red 40, whatever that is.
Mm.
And it causes adverse effects in children. So that goes back to even if the kid doesn't have ADHD, it may seem like it, or ADD, just all of that memory,
Mm.
cloudy
Yeah.
memory, all that.
Mm.
Number 3, for you coffee drinkers, that coffee mate. But
Yeah,
the only thing about
yeah.
that is, okay, it's linked to heart disease.
Mm.
And it's banned in Switzerland, Norway, Iceland. So it has been banned from the United States since June 18th, 2018.
Mm.
But you do have the lingering of it still
Yeah.
around. So you might want to check the expiration date on it. Just saying.
Okay.
So, but it
Okay.
technically has been banned from the United States. So those are just the top three.
I saw
And
that.
the
Yeah.
other ones are, like you said, Part Tarts, the Pillsbury biscuits,
Ooh.
and Lucky Charms, and they cause like itching and hives.
Oh, I hate
So
that cereal. I hate that cereal.
me too. I was never a fan of Lucky Charms.
Oh,
It's too sweet.
it
Mm-hmm.
is.
But that's just me. So those are just a few, and just kind of think about that and just see what you're feeding your kids. So and yourself first, then your children. But
There you
yeah,
go.
those are just a few right there.
Okay. Um, so like since we talking about health and everything, we three different generations, so yeah, I guess the perspectives are different. So for your age group, do you feel like you're in the right place health wise and what you put inside your body? And what do you feel like the people around your age group, what do you feel like they're doing wrong because of what age they
For
are?
me, I'm doing good in my age group because I
Mm.
don't have no illness. Um, and my weight is down. So when I went to my reunion last year, I had so many of my friends really obese that I went to school
Mm-hmm.
with, and they're looking really old because they're not taking care of themselves. And that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
things. It's all about what you put into your body that makes you look older. And then also too, when you're doing a lot of smoking, drinking, drugs, that makes you look older and you're not taking care of your body. So you have to understand, sometimes people, you'll find out that they sick, but then you'll also find out that they used to be on drugs. And so that
Mm-hmm.
stuff catches back up with you when you start to get my age. Whereas when you were out there doing it, it was okay. But you have to understand that those things like that don't need to be in your body. So, hey, you can't have too much alcohol in your body because that's affecting things. So I say I'm doing good on that because I know several that, have enlarged hearts, diabetes, just a whole list of stuff that people have and I don't. So I'm blessed and I'm trying to keep it there, so
Mm-hmm.
but and then there's some more of my friends, they're doing well too. So I'm not the only one. I mean, it's a lot of them. They just doing some things to prevent that. But it's
Mm-hmm.
so cool when you get my age, you just cannot do the things that you can't eat the way you ate when you were 25. And on all
Mm-hmm.
honesty, it's good that you eat the way that you do now because you're already getting ahead of the game. And that's one of the things,
Mm-hmm.
you're eating better because your health is wealth, and what you put in your body, you are what you eat. So if you eat a lot of sugar, you're gonna look like that. When you
Mm-hmm.
eat a lot of those, well, no, I ain't gonna say that. It was something my brother said, but I kind of noticed Okay, anyway, I'm not gonna say that, but yeah, watch what you're eating. You know, you can't having them tacos because they give you them little muffin tops. That's what my brother said. You know, when you eat all that flour, tortilla bread and stuff, you pay attention. The people who be eating that right there in their midsection, it be in top, you know, because they eating all that little, you know. And I love a taco myself, but you can't eat that consistently every day like that. Like, so
yeah.
Okay, I'll say for me, I think I'm doing okay. At 33, like you just said, Tasha, you know, after you hit a certain age and stuff, you can't eat the way you used to. I think being at 33, you're really just starting to see the effects of how you ate in your 20s. It's like, wait, this weight is coming off, but it's slowly coming off. So overall, just health wise, I think I'm pretty good. Weight wise, when last time I went to the doctor, it's just I have to work on this blood pressure, and I'm working on it. So overall, I give myself on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm at a 7 with health wise. 7. I give myself 7.
I do struggle with that. I do. So I'm sorry. When I'm just thinking about other things. But yes, I do have to work on that. Yeah. Well, so that is one of my challenges. I do work on that one.
Okay. Since I asked it, for me being 26, I'm definitely in the age where you can do a lot of stuff and then kind of get away with it right now, but it hits you later. So I think I have. Okay, mentally, I got the balance. So I know I like some of the bad stuff. I know mentally it's bad for me, so I can think twice about eating something. Like I'd be like, "Oh, I want this so bad," and because of how I know about the nutrition and stuff like that, I'd be like, "Okay, maybe I don't need it." Not saying that me saying they're gonna make me not eat it, but at least I thought about it. So yeah, right now I feel like I'm okay because of the fact that I make sure I get vegetables in. I pay attention to a lot of stuff. You know, like I tell people, which a lot of people don't believe it. You know, I've been drinking water, nothing but water for I think going on 7 years now, and I'm so used to it now. I just you know it is what it is. So I just got rid of the drinks, and I know it's hard for a lot of people to do that, especially at this age. You know, we want to eat and drink whatever we want to. We don't want no limitations and stuff. So I think I have restricted myself enough where I think I'll be fine when I hit my 30s. Or I think I'll be okay. I definitely could do better because I know sometimes I want to see my body in certain spots that it's not, and it's only because I still love the little junk food and stuff. So once I find that, get that balance out of my head and actually put it to action, like, okay, you want to, like some weeks I do like a cheat meal at the end of the week, and that feels better to eat it. Like I eat good that week, and then when you eat that bad stuff on that last day, I be trying to say it tastes better. To not eat it every day, but just to eat it as a reward, it tastes so much better. So if I can do that more, I think I'd be at a 10, but right now I'm gonna give myself an 8 until I stop eating that junk food. But yeah, so I'm doing okay.
I want to say this. You could be your age and still have those health problems, because I know my brother always come home, and it was a guy that he worked with, and he felt so sorry for him because I want to say the guy was about 27 years old, but he would bring a change of clothes because basically whatever was going on with him, I guess it's, you know, his organs were starting to shut down or whatever, because he would, you know, use the restroom on himself. And because he couldn't hold it. And so I remember my brother telling me that the guy had lost a lot of weight because he was very big, and you know, and then he lost a lot of weight. And another thing that he said, I remember that the guy had changed jobs, and he actually started working with where we work. And I just asked my brother about him last week, y'all. I was like, how your friend doing that works out there in, you know, where we work? And he said, he died. Wow. And I said, but you said he lost a lot of weight. He said he did. He said, but he died. And he touched 30, but it was because he had been so big, y'all. And then when I guess it was like he was just too far gone in terms of like all the stuff that it was doing, because it was shutting down everything inside of him. So you can be young, and I don't know if it was something with y'all or what, but you can be young too and still have those things that take you out. So and you don't, and you know, our body is so strong that a lot of time it takes years for it to break down to that point. Was one thing that I wonder. I say, like, how did his body break down that fast if it was just him being overweight? But I don't know what's wrong with him. But yeah, it was sad. So again, we have to take care of ourselves. It's just
it is.
Yes. And since you brought up care, I think I'm gonna end tonight's episode with talking about self-care. I think I talked about it on one episode before. You know, we look at self-care as, I think now, you know, social media shows self-care is like, I'm getting my nails done, my feet done, a massage, which is self-care. So calm down, people. Don't come at me. But also just taking care of yourself, putting the right foods in your body, mentally, all of that, going to the gym, that's a part of self-care too. So my message tonight is literally take care of yourself. No one's saying don't eat a burger or no pizza. It's all about moderation. That's all it is. So that's my message.
And I guess my message would be to a lot of people feel like because they look good on the outside of those organs and your insides are not bad. Like, I think people feel like if I'm so, you know, I'm small, but I'm still drinking, still doing all this stuff, and it's going inside, it's not showing on the outside. Your body's strong, like you said, your body's strong, but over time it can break down. It's only so much them insides can handle. So I would say just take care of yourself. And I know you might look good in the mirror, but regardless, just because you're skinny, don't mean you can have a hot Cheeto diet. You know what I mean? You still have to get the vegetables in. You still got to make sure you're eating the right stuff and make sure you get those nutrients in your body. So just remember that the outside appearance really does not determine your health. You got to make sure you're healthy. So just put the right stuff in your body. I know it's hard at first, and I know that them vegetables can be nasty, but trust me, you would rather eat something nasty than be on the hospital bed. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. So I would just like to say today, because I just literally, y'all, I got 2 things of bad news today. But I had 2 family members to pass in my family. And one was 34 and one lived to be, I want to say he's in his 90s. So that was a great life. So what I want to say today is just to love on your family because, you know, you can be here today and gone tomorrow. And literally like 34 is short. You know, 90 is a blessing. You know, I just want to say, just hold your people extra tight tonight. That's what I want.
Amen. Well, okay, you guys, that's the end of this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Also, comment. Let us know your family medical history and what are you doing to prevent some of these chronic diseases that affects your family. So, all right, you guys, have a good night.
All right. And make sure you eat some broccoli. I'm just playing.
And crumble cookie.
Yes.